Hey guys, so it says I am live. I hope this time it will work. Last time I tried it didn't work for some reason. So guys, happy new year, and this is my first live in new year. So happy new year. Very excited to be in 2020 doing a live, all of that, talking to you guys. So today's live is about high value women stories, and I was thinking what to do a live about, but like this week I had, it's new year, ladies. Through new year's there's actually a lot of all kinds of stories. Why? Because after Christmas, after all that giving and all that pursuing and all that safety and security, there's lots of breakups and there's lots of very good things happening. So it all usually happens over New Year. So I have many stories to share. Well, I'll share a couple, and we can learn from them. We can learn how to be really high value through those stories and how to bring out the best in the guy. And yeah, what it actually takes to have an amazing relationship. Okay, so for those who don't know me, my name is Greta Bereisaite. I'm dating and relationship coach for women, and I upload new videos every Wednesday. I upload a video with content, and on Sunday I do a live about a specific topic, and I do some Q&As and we can all engage. Let me just kind of turn this a bit like this. Okay, cool. So let's start with the stories. Now I'm just thinking, which one shall I start? Shall I start with bad? Let's start with bad, right? Let's start with negativity and finish with positivity, right? So I'll start with two kind of like, yeah, I'll start with the worst one and then we'll get better and better, okay? So here comes the first one. So maybe you have seen a tiny bit on my posts, and it's so funny because like when I make comments on my YouTube posts, when you can post a story, somebody actually made us a comment saying that stop creating stories. And I'm just thinking, if I could create so many stories, I would be an incredible writer. So I'm not. So I wish, Anyway, so the first story is, guys, it's about not gold digging, but it's about who should pay, right? So a lot of us nowadays think that it should be 50-50. And let me tell you why 50-50 doesn't really work. 50-50 is like 50-50, I would compare 50-50 if you're a man going with a friend. It's 50-50 is not a relationship thing. 50-50 is not masculinity and femininity. It's not complementing each other. 50-50, it's like you're taking a friend for a drink. It's like masculinity with masculinity, femininity with femininity. That's 50-50. When it comes to masculinity and femininity, it's about complementing each other. It's about letting a man be a man and a woman feeling like a lady, feeling feminine, right? So in order for a woman to feel like appreciated, feminine, valued, and worthy, it cannot be 50-50. Like, I know I've been through embarrassing moments myself, and I remember going on a date and the guy literally, I didn't even order that much. I ordered so little, and when the bill came, the waiter actually put the bill on his side, right? And he looked at the bill, and it was very small, to be honest. It was really small, and he said, "So you're paying this much, and I'm paying this much." And I felt so embarrassed. Like, I just felt so embarrassed, and that was it. He was like really charming, he was really cool, everything. I was just like, no second date, strictly no second date. It was just so embarrassing, And even the waiter actually felt sorry for me. I didn't show on my face at all. I just paid my part, didn't show on my face at all. I'm quite good with poker face when I have to, right? Didn't show anything, but I felt so embarrassed. You just feel like, am I like not worthy? Like, it just feels so ridiculous. So 50-50, when you're taking a woman on a date, if you're not into her, I get it, fine. You're not into her, you don't want to pay, you don't want to be a gent, fine, I get it, right? But if you're into a woman, you like the girl, and you're not paying for her, you know, you're not trying to sweep her off her feet, I mean, that's just manners. That's literally just manners. So I personally would say to you girls, if a guy is splitting every single thing 50-50, he is out. He is out. What about the time when you're gonna be, you know, if we look at long term and you're thinking about like long-term potential, what about things when you're gonna be, it's just like, it's so many things that come with it, right? It's you can't compare a man to a woman, right? It's incomparable. You're feminine, you have your feminine things, like, you know, you have your monthly cycle. It's just, it's I can't, I'm not even going there. Basically, if you, I have a video why you should not split a bill, and you can, I'll link that video right here, but just for this part I'll just say this much, right? Anyway, so this lady was dating a guy, and after a couple of months he took her on a romantic getaway, right? And everything was really super sweet, and he was sweeping her off her feet, and like charming, and nice hotels and taxis, and paying her, like taking her to nice places, this and that, right? In New Year's she gets an email from him, a spreadsheet of everything, of all the coffees, of all the meals, of all the taxes, of all the hotels, of everything, right? It's like detailed spreadsheet, like, and it says you can adjust it if you like, and this is basically the sum of money that you owe me for all that trip, right? And let me just tell you, both of the people are really successful. It's not that he doesn't have the money to pay, you know, it's not like she could not afford it. Both of them are extremely, like, really successful. And yeah, so ladies, what was my advice? I did tell her, I told her to pay it back, and I said block and run, basically. But to be honest, like, I saw a lot of girls said, like, in the comments, like, we would not pay it back. And I agree, if you have the willpower to argue and all of that and go back and forth, you know, and have, maybe even have some banter with him, you know, like, if you have that energy, fine, don't pay it. I personally, if this would happen to me, I would not have the energy to go back and forth, because that's, to me, a big time waste. And the money is not worth that time waste going back and forth with the guy who is totally, like, I would just say, the biggest loser ever. This is so disrespectful on so many levels. It's like how to put a woman down. If you want to disrespect a woman and put her totally down, this is what you do as a man. This is literally what you do as a man. So my advice would be, don't go back and forth, because that's a lot of time waste with somebody who you don't want to, like, have nothing to do. So I would just say pay it back and leave it. But if you have a time, that's fine, you know. So yeah, I said pay it back, block, go, you know. And what is interesting, this is not the first client who's experiencing this stuff. This has happened to a number. And this is what guys do. They send the spreadsheets. They literally, all of those guys that I know, like, it's not the first time. So I'm not actually even that shocked. I'm just surprised that it has happened again. So the spreadsheet apparently is like a new thing, okay? So be aware of that. And watch out for the red flags. Don't be desperate. Watch out for red flags. You know, the red flags are always there. If he's taking you for coffee and says, let's split the bill. If he's taking you for a meal, let's split the bill. If he's like, it's like the red flags are everywhere. Just, like, don't ignore the red flags. Majority of us, we go on a date, we like a guy, right? If you're a bit like, oh my God, I want a boyfriend so much, you know, you're gonna go on a date, you've seen a red flag and you choose to ignore it because you want a boyfriend so much, right? And when you continue to date this guy with these red flags, and later on, what happens is if you keep dating, you keep bonding with these red flags, when you sleep together, right, a woman gets more attached because she releases oxytocin, right? And when you sleep together, and after you sleep together, you have all these romantic getaways, there's a lot of blah, blah, blah. There's still those red flags, but a lot of blah, blah, blah. Now you're attached to him because you slept with him. And now you're like, oh my God, there is red flags all over. There is 50-50, maybe other red flags, you know, 50-50 is just an example, right? Maybe other red flags, but you're already emotionally involved, emotionally attached, and this is when it's crazy hard to let go of that guy with the red flags. So my advice for you ladies, just take things slow, drag it out, don't rush. You have nothing to lose. The slower you go, the better it's gonna be for you. You know, this is the only way to get to know a person. Think about it even like with your friends. When a new person is coming into your life, sometimes it takes half a year to see your friends' true colors. So the same with a guy, take it slow. Take it slow. If he's sweeping you off your feet the first day, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, it's still just 1 month that you know him, right? Like, take it slow. Don't rush. When we rush, this is when very likely we can go wrong and dig ourselves holes. Okay, so that was like the bad story. Another story which is actually more from a guy's perspective, and basically I'll just share it like this. So I've been talking to a guy who actually broke up with someone, and he's really high value, he's really cool, and the reason he broke up with the girl because she was too bitchy, just too bitchy, basically, you know. And to the girls who are reading some specific books, you know, there's a lot of books with games and stuff like that, and if what you're doing is you're just playing a game and you're playing that game in order to win it, and basically what happens with the games, girls, first, you're not being high value, you're looking at things as a game, right? So when you play a game, you see that he's chasing and pursuing you, right? And then you're like, oh my God, okay, I got it. I'm gonna step it up, you know, and I'm gonna be even bitchier, right? And then you play a tougher game and you're still like, oh my God, he's still chasing me, right? So if you're going towards that line that you tried some games and it has worked, and now you're even pushing it more, yes, he might have fall for you in the beginning, but long term, if he has self-respect, if he's using his brain, he will be like, oh my God, I'm doing everything. I invested everything. I'm treating her like a queen. She's taking the piss. You know, if he has self-respect and self-value, he will let you go. You know, same as a woman can let a guy she loves go because he plays too many games. Because, you know, like as I say, girls, like, you need to look long term, right? So short-term pain for the long-term happiness. If, for example, I know all the bloody games, right? I know all the games because knowledge is power, right? So I'm teaching you, I'm basically showing you all the games because I want you to have the knowledge. But then, ladies, it's up to you. What do you do with it? The games, the reason I'm showing you the games so you can protect yourself, so you're not manipulated. But if you're like, oh my God, Greta knows so much stuff, I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna use it and I'm gonna play these games and I'm gonna manipulate and have all this power, you know, you very likely can dig yourself a hole. You know, games are just to protect yourself. Like, be very wary. If a guy has a brain, if he's logical, if he's smart, if he's high value, he'll sniff all your games out very quickly. Okay, so my point is, ladies, just be aware and be careful. And same as for me, for example, if I'm dating a guy and I see that he, let's say, brings a little bit of a game, that's fine. You know, everybody needs to have a bit of game, as in, like, a man needs to know how to charm a woman, how to fulfill her needs. A woman needs to know how to fulfill a guy's needs, you know, so there's a little tricks, a little fun bits, but I would say this is more like banter, a bit of cheekiness, fun, playfulness, right? So it's not even anything crazy, right? But if you're dating a guy and you're reading through him and all you see he's doing is just playing a game constantly on you to have a power, that's too exhausting. You're like, I don't have, if you're high value, if you have a life, if you're busy, if you're doing the right thing, if you're a nice, kind, good person, you're gonna be like, I don't have time for this. It's too much. It takes too much of my time. It's a headache. I don't need a headache. You know, so same as you, if you're strong, you're like setting a boundary. I see you through, because being high value, you can see a man through, you can see all of his games, and then you make a decision. If it's too much, you move on. You might hurt yourself, you might do, you know, you might short-term pain for the long-term happiness. Yes, it might hurt if you love a person a lot, but long-term, you'll get over it and you will be happy and you'll find the right match for you. Same goes with a guy. If he is clever, if he knows the stuff and he sees a woman that all she's doing is just playing game after game, he'll be like, you know what, like, this is too much, like, it's a headache, like, it's nothing in for me. So even though he maybe loves her because of that game, maybe he does have strong feelings for her, he'll be like, logically, this does not make sense. I want to live a happy, healthy life. So he'll let her go as well. So ladies, be careful. Okay, don't just start like manipulating insanely. Like, I'm giving you knowledge, I'm giving you power, but then you have to use it a healthy, right way if you want to live a healthy life. If you want to have a toxic relationship where all you're doing is just playing games because you're bored and you don't have a life, you don't have goals, you don't have dreams, you don't have things to do in life, fine, I get it, it's your choice. But if you actually have ambitions, goals, dreams, and all of that, all of this, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of your life. Okay, now a helicopter story. Oh, I love it. This is so nice. a helicopter story. So the helicopter story is, I just shared it. It's again on my YouTube in the comments, right? And this is how it went. So this lady was dating a very, very successful guy, and when things were falling apart, and she got in touch with me, and I actually told her to leave a relationship because it got like he was taking her for granted for every single angle. I was like, you have to leave it. Don't break up with him. Just kind of, she was working for him, so I just said, like, you know, just stop working for him, do your own thing. And she did her own thing. She put herself first. She became a challenge, and he came after her and basically wanted her back and surprised her with a helicopter ride, which was like, I was just like, oh my God, this is so amazing. I'm so happy for you. You know, so when you're high value and the guy sees that, this is what you get. Instead of playing more games, this is girls, let me tell you something else. There are two types of guys, okay? When you've been a doormatty, right? When you've been doormatty, or when you've been low value, right? And you, for example, have been giving too much, doing too much, you know, wearing your heart on a sleeve. He's been taking you for granted, all of that. And now suddenly you learn how to love yourself, how to value yourself, how to set healthy boundaries, how to be feminine so you can bring out the masculine in him, right? And when you do this, when you start practicing this is what will happen. Either he will start to play more games on you, because basically what will happen, he will be like, no, I want the whole power back. You're not having any power. I was able to walk all over you before. Now you suddenly start to love yourself and value yourself, and you have all these boundaries. So he'll start to kind of trigger you and play games on you to take the power away from you. So when you start practicing high value, there is a type of guy who will be like, no, 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 I don't want to give you any power. I actually loved walking all over you and taking you for granted. So he'll give you more game. And this is when it's going to be very exhausting, and he'll just give you more game. And this is when you're like, oh my God, what shall I do? Shall I, keep doing this for a bit longer and see, will this dynamic change? Or shall I just let him go? And there is another type of guy who, when you will start behaving high value, he will see that and he'll just be like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is what I need. This is what I want. This is perfect. And then things will just go very smooth. Majority of men, from the experience that I had from all my clients, majority of men, when you start to behave high value, will play a game with you. They will be, I was able to walk all over you. I was able to have all the power. Now you want some like respect, and you start to love and value yourself. You're setting all these boundaries. No, 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 you're not having any power. So majority of men will bring you a game, right? So, but there is that small percentage that is just gonna be like, oh my God, you acting like my dream, and he'll just start falling for you, and yeah, and it's just gonna go very, very smooth. So yeah, I hope for majority of you will happen the smooth way. But if he's bringing you the game, well, this is what you'll have to do. So which goes to the story. This is like the biggest story of 2 years. 2 years of like having clients like daily, like 10 girls a day, right? This is like the biggest story of 2 years. This is what has happened. I had a girl, and actually it's been for 2 years, and there's a proof at 2 years, because I made a video about the story in the beginning. I think I made it about a year ago, and it says, I became high value and my husband asked for divorce. I have a video like this, put it on YouTube. I became high value and my husband asked for divorce. This is what the story is about, okay? So let me tell you. So basically this is how it happened. This lovely lady was following a book and she got married. This is why I say be careful with books. Books are short term. If you're reading a book which provides you with certain games, right, and you follow that book like religiously, yes, you might get a guy hooked, yes, you might get married, but you're still just playing a game. Okay, so let me tell you. So what happened? She followed the book, she got married. After a while, when she got married, right, she was like, right, so she started changing. So in the book, she is following the games, all of that. When she got married, she ditched the book and she started changing, and she started giving, being too nice. And slowly he started taking her for granted, right? He started taking her for granted. He started disrespecting her. They actually started sleeping in separate bedrooms, right? This is when she found me and she told me the story, what is happening. And, we started the coaching. So we started a lot in self-love, putting yourself first, your dreams, your goals, all of that. Just you, value, respect, healthy boundaries, let him do his thing, you do your thing. What has happened? So we first coached with this girl, I believe about 8 months. We invested in trying to fix it. During that time, her husband started seeing that she's starting to value herself more, that she's setting in the healthy boundaries, that she's putting herself first, and he started playing a lot of game. He started ignoring her more. He was like, okay, I see what you're doing. You're putting yourself first, this and that. Before I was walking all over you, now you kind of have these boundaries, and he started pushing it, right? He started bringing her the game. And there was a time that he was pushing it so much that he actually asked for divorce. He was like, oh, no, you're starting to value and respect yourself. No, I want to take you back for granted, right? So he actually asked for divorce. He said, like, you know what, let's have a divorce. And she, because she was coached by me, I said to her, just say, okay, no emotion, poker face, okay. She said, okay. When she said, okay, this is when he kind of like lost his emotional control, and he said like, no, I love you so much, I want to make it work. So it was like a game, so she would lose her emotional control, because he felt like, you're acting so cool, if I'll tell you I want a divorce, you're gonna lose it all. She didn't lose it. She held herself together, and then he lost it, and then he poured his heart out, right? However, he poured his heart out when we kind of been together for a couple of months, and straight after that he started playing more game again, right? So he started again being cold, ignoring, disrespectful, just was Cold War, right? And she said, Greta, what do I do? And I said, Han, look, we did everything that we possibly could. We can see that he loves you because he literally poured his heart out, but we can see that he wants to have all that control and power, and all he's doing is just playing these brutal games on you. And I basically said, I actually think you need to separate, you need a divorce, because it's like, if you're gonna live, are you gonna live your whole life like with a man like this who's ignoring you? You're sleeping in separate bedrooms. Sex is like once in 4 months if you're lucky. It just became like ridiculous. And she asked for separation, and he agreed to it. And when she got her separation, we were doing the whole coaching stuff. She actually did not cry even once. She was like, this is gonna be great, this is gonna be amazing, I have all these dreams, I'm gonna be creating my empire. So as she did the separation, he agreed to it, and we just went very, very smoothly away. She moved out, and she started achieving all her goals like crazy. She started becoming like going really, really high up, right? And she was making herself happy, lots of self-love, this and that. She just really had the best time. And her husband started getting in contact, right? He started dating some other girls who started losing emotional control. So guess what happened? He started comparing these girls who were losing emotional control to my client, right? And it's obviously incomparable, right? And then slowly he saw that these girls, this is useless, he's walking all over them, right? And he slowly started getting in touch with her. She was replying to him, but very short, and sometimes she would take days to reply, because like they separated, so she didn't care. She was putting herself first. After a year of being separated, he poured his heart out. But the way he poured his heart out, it was like he literally cried her a river, like a long, long river, like saying everything, describing all of his games. He said, you know what, I like, you're incredible, amazing woman, this and that, right? I was trying, he broke it all down. He said, I was trying to make the relationship work, but obviously I was playing all these games, I was using the wrong tactics for it. I should have just been talking to you and lifting each other up, supporting, and this, like, he poured everything out. But he poured it like, I don't know, like she never had anything like this in her life. I actually like it's very rare the way like he behaved. It's like he literally poured everything out. So now she's considering taking him back. So ladies, these are basically the stories of high value and the games. And You know, ladies, the way I see it with the games, if it's too much, it's too much. Life is too short. I understand that guys need to play games. I understand that they have testosterone, right? But you know, like it's too much. If you're building your life, if you're having your beautiful life and you're dating a guy where all he does is play games, like for example, yesterday I was reading a story. This girl shared the screenshots, right? And she said, Greta, what do you do with this guy? Like, just can you break it down? So the guy was Middle East and she's European. And I read his messages, and in every single message, like we having a conversation, in every single message, there was just a game. Just like you can literally read the text and see like 10 messages in a row, we having a conversation, and there is a game to make her go crazy, a game victimizing himself, a game doing something else. Like, it's just a game. And this is what I said to her. I said, look, this is like all your guy is doing is there is not even a break between it. It's just a game after a game. Do you want a boyfriend like this? You know, do you want to take your time and energy and invest it into something that is just a game? Like, you have a life, you have one life, you're born, you're lucky to be alive. The chances of being alive is 400 trillion to 1. And you're gonna waste your one life on somebody, or invest into somebody your precious, valuable time into somebody who's playing like only a game with every single sentence. It doesn't make sense, ladies. You know, it just doesn't make sense. Why? Ladies, let these guys go. Teach them a lesson and let these game players go. You know, a bit of here and there, fine. If he's generous, a high value man is generous. A high value man, you know, he motivates you, he supports you, you know, he's got a vision, he's got dreams. Yes, there's a bit of cheekiness and banter, and me myself, I'm very playful. I could never date a boring guy, you know, I never dated a boring person, you know, like I like the spice, I like to have fun, you know, like I like a bit of uncertainty here or there. It's fun, you know, I like to have fun, it's fun, but not a game every single thing. Who has time for this? When somebody's playing a game, it's going to be in the back of your mind, and at the same time you have to put your business first. So if you have something here in the back of your mind while you're putting your business first, everything starts going down here. Why risk it for somebody like this? It just doesn't make sense. It just purely does not make sense. Okay, so, right, let's see, what are we? Somebody make a dot, a heart, a kiss, a hateful comment. I saw a pop-up, somebody told me to go to sleep. Thank you so much, I already slept. Okay, here we go. Hi Greta, you're amazing. Tell him to respect you. Can't tell him, ladies, you can't tell a man to respect you. You show him how to respect you. A lot of you are coming with communication. Greta, I like to talk. I like to communicate. Don't women just love to talk? You know, like, it's communication, ladies. If you look at the most successful speeches by coaches on YouTube, the most successful speeches is where the body language is used the best way, right? So if somebody is using if somebody is giving an incredible communication, right? And but their body language is like bad, nobody's gonna listen to it. But when somebody is doing like an incredible body language and like maybe even less communication, you know, this is when everybody's going to be watching that person. So My point is, communication is many things. Communication is a body language. Communication is an action. Communication is boundaries. Like there's many things. It's not just words. Words is just like maybe 30% of communication. And if I'm totally honest, with a guy, I would use 10. Words would be my 10% of communication. You know, if it's boundary setting, if it's something else, if he's asking you to explain some things, that's different, you know. But if you're actually setting in boundaries and you're showing a man how to respect you, the words that you use can literally be 10%, because you just need to say things quite polite, direct, and show it with your action. That's all the communication that you need to do. Like how to show a man how to respect you. You know, it's easy. It's easy. You say, please don't do this. Or I did not like that. If he continues, you leave or you ignore it. It's like, that's it. That's all the communication. That's all the words that you need to say. So why use 90% of it, you know, and just talk and nag and do things that guys ignore? You know, if communication was just words, right, and you could sort out problems with words, right, then none of you would be watching my channel. All of you would be with your guys communicating, pouring your heart out and communicating what you want and what he's doing wrong, and then he would change his behavior, and none of you would be watching my channel, you know. So how to get a man to respect you? It's boundaries. Hi Greta, my boyfriend wants me to sexting him, but I don't like. What should I do, Greta? We are in a relationship last 8 months. If you don't like it, don't ignore it. Ladies, when you don't like something that a guy texts you, ignore it or change the topic. Or reply to him. Like if he's sexting you, right? And you're finding it disrespectful, ignore that message or reply to that message like 5 hours later when he's not in a mood for it. Reply to it 5 hours later and to say, hey, I saw I've been busy, you know, and just come up with like a different topic. That's it. That's done. And just do the same thing over and over again until he gets the picture. Greta, how do I make my boyfriend stop talking to his ex? You cannot make a guy to stop talking to his ex, but what you can do, you can be better than an ex so he does not want to talk to her anymore, right? Like think about it yourself. If you have a boyfriend, and your boyfriend is like amazing, it's like you have an amazing boyfriend, you're into him 150%, you're like, he's amazing, and an ex is texting you, you won't care about that ex. Yes, you might talk to him a little bit for an ego stroke. Oh, an ex wants me back, what a nice ego stroke, like pat on the head, right? That's about it, right? But you're gonna be like, I have this amazing boyfriend, I couldn't care less. And to be honest, you wouldn't even risk talking to an ex if you have an amazing boyfriend. You would be like, no, I don't want my guy to see it. I don't want any issues. I don't want any problems. I'm not talking to an ex. My boyfriend is mwah, right? This is what you would do, right? But if you have a boyfriend for the sake of having a boyfriend and it's just nice, it's nothing, it's just kind of nice, and an ex is better, you're gonna want to really talk to an ex. You're gonna be like, is there another chance? What can I do? So what I'm saying is be better than an ex so he's not interested to talk to her anymore. That's it. How to be better than an ex? Be high value, self-love, self-respect, have a personality. Ladies, personality is really, really important. Have a personality. A lot of you are scared to have a personality. This is when you actually really bond with a guy through personality. Like, I know in the past, for me personally, oh my God, I share so many things with you girls. It's like my life is like on a plate. I know for me in the past, like guys would like me through my personality, but I didn't know kind of how to show that I, value my time, this and that, right? So when I learned how to love myself properly, how to be high value, you know, like now, like I have a personality and I can show how to, you know, like respect myself, value myself, set in the right boundaries, all of that, right? But a lot of you're practicing this high value, but you're too scared to have a personality. And this is the personality that makes you bond with another person. High value is just, you know, if we all behave high value and have no personality, basically we will all be the same. We'll be like robots, right? So high value is just, it's attraction. He's attracted to you. You're behaving like you have the qualities of that dream girl, but to actually to have a true connection, the true bond, the chemistry, it's the personality, you know. So be yourself. Be yourself. Be the best version of you. Be unique you. Don't be scared to be unique you. Yes, like by being yourself and by not being this general girl, you might have a little bit less guys approaching you, because you may not be to everyone's taste, right? For example, as I always say, I like a bit of cheekiness, I like a bit of banter, I do a bit of, you know, this sometimes. So guys, you know, with some guys it doesn't work. But I don't want to be with a guy who cannot take it, who cannot banter back, who's not playful, who's not cheeky, right? So when I do these things, I know exactly, will he drop off because he's not my type, or is it gonna be like fireworks here, right? So when you actually meet your match like that, when it's like, it's beautiful, it's so enjoyable, right? But if you're just like playing it safe all the time, then you're not really enjoying that passion, you're not enjoying that fire, you're not enjoying that click, you know, because you're playing it safe, because like, oh my God, I'm gonna play it safe because I really need a boyfriend, so, you know, I'll just play it safe. And that's just not fun. Is it a game, Greta? If I sleep early at night, my boyfriend tells me that I don't respect him. No, that's ridiculous. No, it's you need to sleep early at night. If you're tired, he does not respect you. If you sleep early at night because you're tired and he's telling you that you don't respect him, no, he does not respect you because he is not giving you time to rest. He needs to respect you. So you go sleep at night. Like, don't even argue. You go and sleep at night. If he says you don't respect me, you can say, well, do you, like, you don't respect me. I need my sleep. Sleep is important. You know, like, he's like, no, do what you need to do. Start loving and putting yourself first, always. Hi, Greta. What do you do if your boyfriend can't say no? He always says yes to everything, then pretends that he forgot or didn't see the message. Is this a red flag or a sign of depression? If he can't say no, it's annoying. He's a people pleaser. He's a people pleaser, and then he disappoints you. Yeah, it's, oh my God, this is actually really, really annoying. A guy who always says a yes, and then he cancels on you. That's somebody who doesn't love themselves enough to say no. Someone who's too scared to say no in order not to be liked. So what we do, we actually start letting people down. It's not much that you can do towards it. He needs to do things towards it. You know, like, he needs to, like, the only thing is, like, if he lets you down, you set in a boundary. That's all that you can do. Like, literally set in a boundary. So for example, if he always says yes, and when he cancels on you or bails on you, you set in a boundary. Okay, so that's all that you can do. And then once he starts to see that this is not working, this people pleasing stuff, and then, you know, like, kind of having a slap back for, because you're setting in a boundary is not working, he'll start changing himself. you know, if he loves you. If he doesn't love you, well, it might just not work. But if he loves you, he'll start to step up his game, and he will stop ditching you and you'll pay more attention to what he says. Yes, he is a people pleaser. Yeah. People pleasers, guys. I literally just did a video on my I have another YouTube channel which is called High Value Mindset, and it's all about self-love. Okay, so, and I literally just did a video on people pleasers. I think I posted it last Friday, so 2 days ago, on people pleasers. How to give and not be taken advantage of. From bad guys before something terrible happens. What is it? Greta, how do you break up in a high value way with my long-term boyfriend who has been taking me for granted? Ladies, I don't believe that there is a high value way to break up. You just basically break up. You just say, like, you know, in your own words, that it's not working for you. If you think about it, how many guys actually just ghost you instead of actually properly breaking up with you? So I would just say something, it's not working for me and it's time to move on, something nice, you know, would send a nice kind message, and that's it. I personally would not recommend breaking up with someone in person, because if you like, the other person's emotions can influence your decision, and then it might prolong something that should not be prolonged, you know. And it's just like, I personally would not even recommend to break up with somebody in person. I would say send like a nice email or a nice message, and that's it. Because like, if you're doing it in face to face, the other person can really overreact, and their emotions will take over, and you don't know, will they attack you, will they beg, will they plead, and then this could influence your decision in like emotional way, and then at the end of it you will make a decision based on emotions, and you know, it might actually prolong something that shouldn't be there anymore. So I would actually just say, if you want to do it, if you're strong enough, if you're very logical and you want to do it in person, fine, do it. I respect that. But if you don't, I think it's totally fine to do it with a message. Because if you're breaking up with somebody, you're not trying to work it out, you're actually letting them go. You made a decision. Amen. I love the clarity of your explanations. I love the way you use words to directly guide us towards the essence of your message. Thank you, hon. Thank you. He has to be a man of his word. Yes. Yes, ladies. A man of his word is a diamond. I would literally say that a man, if you're dating a guy of his word, it's a diamond. And actually, let me finish with video of this. You know, ladies, what high value does, when you have all the knowledge, when you know all the games, you can read a bad boy as an open book. You can read a high value guy as an open book. You can read a nice guy as an open book, right? The reason we are attracted naturally more to guys who are a bit more cheeky and play a bit more games and the bad boys is because we can't read them. So we are a bit more intrigued, right? But when you read them, when you read a bad boy, when you read a nice guy, right? They all become on the same level. They all the same level. Then you're like, oh my God, I'm dating this bad boy and he is just bullshitting and there is no action and he's not a man of his word. Whereas this nicer guy, he's very direct and maybe he doesn't give me that much bullshit, that many flattery or promises, but he's actually stepping things up with his action, you know, with his words. He's a man of his words. So when you can read everyone, this is when you can compare and choose the guy that is right for you. However, you will only choose a high value guy, a healthy guy, right? If you're healthy in here yourself. If you're from a toxic background where you've been raised in a way, you know, lots of toxicity, lots of games, abuse, maybe this and that, you will automatically will bond more with somebody who's toxic and plays more games. You'll just have this bond, right? So if you want a high value guy, first you need to become high value yourself. Because when you become high value yourself, this is when you'll relate to the high value guy more. And you'll have, you know, a happy, sustainable relationship. So if you're from a toxic upbringing, which majority of us are, you know, like majority of us, maybe I would say maybe even 80% of people are from toxic upbringing, more or less, you know, some are from like really extreme, some are not extreme, you know, it's very small percentage that we're not from a toxic upbringing. So if you're from that upbringing, all you need to do now is to get self-aware and then work on those things, sort your things out, become confident, secure, not just to play it as a game, but really love yourself, become confident and secure. And this is when you'll be able to vibe with that high value guy who is a man of his word, right? And have a sustainable relationship. So this is what I wish for you all, ladies. And it's a lot of work. And thinking that you'll just find some games, some tricks, and you're just gonna have an amazing relationship, this is a fantasy which will not happen. It takes years of work. It really, really takes years of work. And it's not gonna switch just like that, because it's the core, it's the inside what matters. Okay. So ladies, and for self-love course, I have a self-love course for sale, which I'll link after this in this video description. And ladies, for all the details, how to talk to guys, how to respond to the messages. Like for example, you know, I said in my VIP one, a lady shared a screenshot, and I read through the screenshot and I said, this is the game he's playing, this is the game he's playing, this is the game he's playing, this is the game he's playing. This is how you respond. This type of detail is available in my VIP 1 or VIP 2. You know, like I don't share this type of detail on a YouTube channel because it's for everyone, it's a little bit different. It's tailor-made. So if you want this type of detail where you have the specific detail, the specific strategy, how to be high value, how to nail at things, join my VIP. VIP 1 is a bit more expensive. We have 3 coaches in there, me and the other 2 girls who coach all my advice, who know everything inside out. And in the VIP 2, I'm not in it, but it's still phenomenal. We have those coaches who do the same thing, who coach the girls as well, 3 times a week, answering your questions and, you know, helping you out. So all the details are in my video description to join the VIP 1 or VIP 2. So if you want to have that phenomenal relationship, this is what I would recommend. Some girls in my VIP 1 have not left VIP 1 for 2 years. They know the stuff inside out and they have not left VIP 1 for 2 years. Why? Because queens only stay queens when they surround themselves with other queens. So ladies, if you like this video, please press like, subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments below, did you like it? What was your favorite part? Actually, ladies, yeah, tell me what was your favorite part of this video so I can make more videos on your favorite parts. Join Greta's High Value Women School. It's a free Facebook group. Follow me on my Instagram. My Instagram is called Ladies Relationship Coach. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Kisses from London. Happy 2020. Lots of, again, abundance. May all your wishes and dreams come true. Believe, stay positive, practice self-love, practice high value, and you'll live your ultimate happy dream life. Okay? This is what I did and it's working.